There really is no point to it. I just want to read books published in August because I'm born in August.
But then it comes to a point where I have to stop reading because I get really bored.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, or good evening. I don't know when you're watching this, but I am back with another weird reading vlog. I'm Allie. Hi. This vlog, I really don't know how I thought of this idea. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know. It was an idea that I had in my Notion, and I just decided to do it because I thought that would be interesting, I guess. So I've talked about this at length, but August is my birthday month. I'm turning 29. I know. Anyway, 1 year until 30. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But August is my birthday month. So I had this idea that I want to read books published in August. For what reason? I don't know. To see if books published in August are amazing, I guess. Do you see what I mean when this is a weird reading vlog idea? Because there's really no point to it. There really is no point to it. I just want to read books published in August because I'm born in August. I was born in August, I should say. August is my birthday month. We're going to read books published in August. The books that we're going to be reading are A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. I don't have them with me because I can't be bothered to go to the next room to get the books. But we're reading A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. This is a young adult sapphic dark academia novel. It's supposed to give witchy vibes. And I feel like at the time when it was published, this was published in August of 2021 according to Goodreads, it was kind of promoted as the sapphic secret history. So we shall see what's going on with that. I'm then going to read Eileen by Ottessa moshfegh, which was also published in August according to Goodreads. Well, my edition was published in August, I should say. And this is about, you guessed it, a woman named Eileen. I think it is marketed as a literary thriller novel. Eileen is down in the dumps. She works at a boys prison, juvenile detention center. And then this woman comes named Rebecca, and I'm getting obsession, female friendship vibes, but also written by Ottessa moshfegh. If you've read any Ottessa moshfegh book, you know she writes very weirdly. I'm excited. Don't know what this is, but I'm excited for it. And then the last book I'm going to read is The Book Eaters by Sunyi. Oh my god, my voice. This book I got as a gift from my sister from another mister, Hannah, and it was published in August because that is the running theme. It's the theme of this reading vlog. It is, I really don't want to know much about this book going into it, so all I know is that it is about a group of supernatural creatures called the Book Eaters who, in order to live, they have to eat books. Similar to vampires, but instead of blood, they have, they literally eat pages of books. They are walking encyclopedias. That is how they roll. However, we have book eaters, then you have mind eaters, and mind eaters are the bad group within the book eater community. And our main character, her son is a mind eater, and so it's going to be maybe a tale of motherhood and sacrifice and love within this world of the book eaters. They're the 3 books that we're going to be reading. A lot of the books that I will be reading will be over the week that I'm in Cairns with Emma and Tiff, and so you'll see me popping in, updating whenever I can. And then yeah, okay, hope you enjoy. Subscribe and like and comment if you want, and let's get cracking to the video. Yay!
Hi everyone. I'm actually currently in Cairns. My friends Em and Tiff are working, and I think the Tiff is on the phone, so I'll quickly do a little check-in. Hi. So I started reading a book finally for this themed reading vlog, and I've started reading A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. Now, I I don't know how I feel about this book. I'm nearly halfway through. I think I'm like 49% of the way through. And I'm not reading it physically because I'm in Cairns, so I'm reading it on Scribd. But like I'm enjoying it, but at the same time I'm not. I don't know how to explain it. I think I'm just getting bored. Maybe. I forgot that it's young adult, and so maybe it's that element. I'm not quite sure, but I'm reading it and I enjoy it, but then it comes to a point where I have to stop reading because I get really bored. So I don't know what that says about me. Maybe it's because I'm in this wonderful, wonderful place and I'm just like not in the mood. But I don't think it's that. I think it's just the book. All I know at the moment about what it's about is that we have Felicity, who her best friend slash her girlfriend died. People think that she's to blame for it, but she's not, supposedly. She took time off from her school, which is like Dalloway Girls, and she's come back. But she thinks that the reason why Alex died was because they were cursed by the ghosts of Dalloway House. There were 4 witches. So like it's interesting, but at the same time, I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I'm gonna most likely finish it really soon. Oh, sorry about that. Because I'm planning on it finishing it quite soon because I want to start something else. That's the problem with it, I think, is like I'm waiting for it to end, which you don't want. But we have been introduced to a new character in the beginning called Alice. She's like a prodigy writer. She's already won a Pulitzer. She's like 17 years old, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if Alice is using Felicity for her novel or if they're gonna fall in love, but I don't know. But I'll keep you updated as per usual. Good morning, everyone. I'm in sunny Cairns. I'm just walking to a cafe to meet Emma and Tiff. It's a beautiful day. It's already quite warm. Just wanted to give you an update because I finished a lesson in Vengeance. I'm really struggling with like pinpointing my, not issues with it, but why it wasn't like a huge win for me. I found it boring. Like I think I wrote in my Goodreads review that like on the face of it, it is a book that is like literally written for me, right? Dark academia, gothic, witchy, good for her, like women doing wrong, right? But I just think it was the writing maybe. I was so bored that towards the end I was skimming through it, which I don't do, right? I just wanted it to end. So I think for me it was the writing. I think maybe the main character Felicity wasn't interesting enough. I think she was just kind of blah. And for a book written kind of, a lot of comparisons have been made, I think, to The Secret History. If you think about Richard, right? Richard is an absolutely atrocious human being, but he was interesting to read, right? Like, whereas Felicity, I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. So that was a bit of a fail. Kind of sad about it, to be honest. But happy that I read it because now I know. And also I would recommend it to people who, I hope I'm going the right way. Bitch, I hope I'm going the right way. I feel like I've taken forever to walk here, but I was talking to my mum. Anyway, I still recommend it to people who like that sort of thing. I also forgot it's young adult, so I think maybe that's a little bit of the reason why as well, that I wasn't too in love with it. But I read it, and it was a book published in August, which is my birthday month. So the next book I'm going to read is The Book Eaters by Sunyi, which, you guessed it, also published in August. But yeah, I'll keep you updated as usual. I'm just in a very beautiful sunny Cairns. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. But I'm gonna go and get a coffee and maybe some breakfast because I'm really hungry. I'm pretty sure it's here. Kind of go from there. Okay, bye. Hey everyone, hopefully you can hear me because it is very windy today. We've got like severe weather warning because it's so windy. Anyway, I'm going into the city because I have to go to the eye and ear hospital to do some tests for my eyes. And I thought I would give you an update. I am back in Melbourne. I completely forgot to update you on the books that I finished for this reading vlog. So throughout the day today, I will like pop in and just update you all. So I read The Book Eaters by Sunyi. I don't know how I feel about it. On one hand, like, let me just cross the road 1 second. On one hand, I liked it because it was interesting and nothing like I've read before, right? Hello. Sorry crow. It was like refreshing, it was interesting, but there was just something missing, you know? And that was what kind of failed it for me. So if you don't know what The Book Eaters is about, it's literally what the title says, okay? It's about this group of entities that are humanoid in appearance, and kind of similar to vampires, they need sustenance on something other than like human food. So from the way that it was written in the book, like vampires and book eaters are kind of like same but different. So that's fun. From like the mythology within the book eaters are kind of alien, and their creator created them. We don't know who the creator is, other than he came to Earth, created the book eaters because he wanted knowledge. So that's what happened. The book eaters eat books. I think that's what they do, and whatever they consume they remember. So they're literally like walking encyclopedias. But on the opposite spectrum of book eaters, you have mind eaters. Mind eaters are kind of considered the deviants of the book eater community because they eat minds, human minds mostly, but also you could eat book eaters' minds, but it's a bit intense to eat a mind that has, you know, over hundreds of years eaten, you know, thousands of books, and the knowledge can kind of kill you if you mind eat them. I'm gonna cross the road. My feet are killing me. I had to wear sandals today because I've got blisters everywhere, so I can't wear my like sneakers. Anyway, let's go. I'm in the parking lot of the station. So, mind eater's bad, book eater's good, supposedly. Our main character, who I forget her name, she has a son who's a mind eater. Now, typically when mind eaters are born, they're born with a forked tongue. They're typically killed, but
she refuses. Like, she literally kills, well, her son kills the husband. It's a long story. And she gets recruited by her brother to do things. I won't get into it, but I just wanted more. It was good, but at the same time it was kind of boring, you know, and I was really disappointed. It was also like low-key queer, but not really, but it was, but like nothing really happens. And it felt like a first book in a series, or like a prequel, you know. So like at the end I was like, okay, that was fine, but it wasn't interesting enough for me to remember everything, and I don't know if I would like read it again, or like buy the sequel if there's a sequel, or would I try the author again? I don't know, because I don't know, like that's the problem. Just very, very lackluster, I think. I just want to let you all know that my feet really hurt, so I'm glad we're sharing this experience together. I had like water blisters everywhere on my feet, and all those water blisters have popped, so it's an experience walking, and I just have like normal blisters. I've just like, if you know me in real life, you know that not only am I a clumsy person, I can trip and sprain my ankle on a flat fucking surface, right? But my feet are the bane of my existence. I have sensitive feet, okay? That's why I have to be super careful with like every shoe that I fucking wear. It's just annoying, okay? Anyway, I will update you on the other book that I read for this reading vlog. I'm really sorry that I'm a bit everywhere. I can't believe that I forgot to update you, but that's just what happens. The next book is Eileen by Ottessa moshfegh. I'm actually really excited, but also low-key terrified. I think this is my last. I think this is the only book that I haven't, like full-length book that I haven't read by Ottessa moshfegh yet, and then I just have her short story collection, so I'm like really excited. And I also want to see like differences in her early works in comparison to her later works, because this is the book that was like either shortlisted for the Booker, like won the Booker, or did something, but her other books weren't. And I love that Verona. I love My Hero Western Relaxation so much. So I'm intrigued to see what's going on with that. And I kind of want to know what she's writing next. Like, Miss moshfegh, please give us a crumb. Give us something. We are all hankering to know what you're doing. Okay, I am at the train station. I'm gonna go. Wish me luck. Okay. So I literally just got back from the city. I think the hospital visit went well. I'm not too sure. I just had to go to do some tests for my eyes. But on the way back home, I was walking from the train station and I was reading this book whilst listening to Hosier's new album, and honestly the vibes were kind of immaculate, so I highly recommend doing that because the vibes really match for some reason. They do. So I started reading Eileen by Ottessa moshfegh, and yes, this book is for this blog, you know, reading books published in August, in the month of August, because it's my birthday month, right? But it is September 4th. But that's not an issue. You know why? Because it's Virgo season, baby. So like, same, you know? Okay, it's fine. We're all good. But this is the last book for this vlog, so I was reading this, like literally walking and listening to Hosie's new album, and it was literally one of those moments where I was just like, oh, you know, like it was just really good, and I kind of felt a bit happy, so we love that. Anyway, what's this book about? Bitch, I don't know, okay? I don't know, but it's giving me sad girl vibes. It's also giving me I'm not like other girls, low-key murderous tendencies. I love it. So we're introduced to Eileen. She's writing from the future about her past. So Eileen, I'm guessing, is like in her 50s whilst writing this. I think she mentions that she was in her 50s, that she's in her 50s as she's writing this. Well, she's like older than 50, okay? Let's just say that. And the book takes place when she's around 23, 24. So Eileen's like, I was Eileen. I was miserable. I was so deeply against literally everything. She was just so filled with hate about her father, about herself. She has really horrible body image issues, ideas about like sex and sexuality, and just she is very just sad and lonely, so lonely. She reminds me a little bit of, oh, what's the narrator's name? Death in Her Hands. Is it Maeve? Eileen reminds me slightly of the narrator of Death in Her Hands, and it's like same paragraph but different font, right? They're very similar. So Eileen works at a juvenile detention center, and she is kind of an admin person there, and we know from the beginning, because it's Eileen in the future telling the story about Eileen of the past, that Eileen disappears. She decides to like say fuck it to her life and leaves. And we know that the catalyst for that is her meeting a woman named Rebecca. We haven't yet met her. I'm only 50 pages in. I already really like it. Eileen is kind of you see parts of Eileen's character in other narrators of Ottessa moshfegh. So it feels very Ottessa moshfegh. And I'm just really excited to be back in her writing. Yes, it's already slightly grotesque. It's perverted already, like it's kind of disturbing the way, like some of the things that Eileen thinks, but that's very much how Ottessa moshfegh writes. She writes atrocious people, and sometimes they're redeemable, sometimes they're not. But majority of the time, it's just like a character study. And I don't know what that's about me, but I love it so much, but I do. And there are parts of this that I've been underlining already, because Ottessa moshfegh is just, she's a girlie that gets it, you know? She writes things and it's horrible, but at the same time, you're like, I relate to that. I think the way that moshfegh writes like mental illness and as John Green said in his book Turtles All the Way Down, the tightening Gaia of kind of a mental illness like anxiety or depression. Ottessa moshfegh does that really well. Like, she doesn't care if you're uncomfortable as a reader, but she will literally detail what the narrator feels when she looks at herself in the mirror. And I think it's something that I can relate to, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to, because especially if you've been battling like depression and body image issues and anxiety, it just, looking at yourself is kind of like a disassociative thing. It can be really weird. And there's this part of the book when the narrator, Eileen, is talking about just how she, like her relationship to her body, and she describes it as like an empty vessel. And like when I get really, really depressed, like in my very bad days, that's how my depression feels like. It feels like I am just like this empty vessel, this like flesh sack with like nothing on the inside. And that's how it feels. And when I read that, I was like, she gets it. She gets it. And that's why I like reading Ottessa Moshfegh. Even though majority of the time her books are a bit of a wild ride. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I am so happy that I'm reading Ottessa Moshfegh, because she's one of my favorite authors, and to read her for my birthday is fantastic. So I do have high hopes for this one, but I also want to see like what a Booker Prize shortlisted Ottessa Moshfegh is like, you know, because in my opinion, My Year of Rest and Relaxation is the best Ottessa Moshfegh that I've read. And I've read Maglue, I've read Lab Verona, so I would like to see the difference, you know. I'm planning on reading this for the rest of the day because I don't want to do work. I have tutorial prep to do, but I've kind of already done it. So I don't need to do it more. Tomorrow I'll just like go through it quickly and then I'll be ready for Wednesday. I'm gonna go read. And we're back. Are you crooked? I feel like you're crooked. Don't look at my face, I'm breaking out. Anyway, hey everyone. So I finally finished Eileen by Ottessa Moshfegh. I finished it last night. I don't know how to talk about this book. So it's very similar to most Ottessa Moshfegh books. This is one of her first full-length novels. I think this was her first full-length novel, actually. This was shortlisted for the Booker Prize. I think I've already talked about that. But Eileen, as a character, is interesting. And she reminds me, she's kind of like the archetype that you see in like My Year of Rest and Relaxation. And even in Death in Her Hands. She's flawed, slightly gross and perverted, but she's just human. But she's also atrocious. But what makes this book really interesting is that it's, again, I've said this before, it is told from the perspective of an Eileen who is in her old age. She's looking back. She's like, hey, I want to tell you a story about the time that I disappeared off the face of the planet. And that aspect makes it really interesting because there's so much reflection that happens, and it's really easy to get caught up in the whirlwind that is Eileen's like intense darkness of thoughts, right? But there are parts of it, kind of like little like stars in the night sky, if I want to continue that metaphor, where you see Eileen from the future being like, yeah, I was a fucking bitch, like I was a horrible person, but like I have since grown. And I really loved the reflection throughout this book. It was just, it added something different, and I understand why it was shortlisted. In terms of, if you hear my mum, it's because she's in a meeting. I loved the way that this ended. So like there's a twist. Yeah, there's a twist. And then it ends with obviously Eileen like leaving her town, but the like how she leaves and blah blah blah, that's the twist. But I love how it ended with Eileen from the future kind of giving us hope for Eileen. Like it was really beautiful. I think, yeah, like I'll just read you a little bit. It's on page 253. Here is how I spend my days now. I live in a beautiful place. I sleep in a beautiful bed. I eat beautiful food. I go for walks through beautiful places. I care for people deeply. At night, my bed is full of love. because I am alone in it. And like in comparison to like that, with like the Eileen that we are seeing in the book, it's just, yeah, it was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I think all I have now for Ottessa Moshfegh is her short story collection, and she's definitely one of my favorite writers. She's not for everyone. She definitely tests the boundaries of like what is appropriate and like grotesque. Like that's what she plays with. It feels like an experiment sometimes with like what she can get away with, like what is the point at which things are not readable anymore. I think that's what it feels like sometimes, is like this idea that she plays with. But I enjoy how she gets there and like her process of it. But there were times when I was just like, no. Especially I think the ending really was just like like, I don't know, I liked it. Now, I don't know the point of this video. Like, I don't know if it was an experiment to be like, did the book gods bless every book that was published in August because it was my birthday month. But I just thought it would be a different way to choose a TBR. So I'm happy I did it. I feel like maybe if I was to do this again, I would do more books than I think. Did I do 3? I feel like I would do more than 3 books. And I feel like I would actually make this like, you know, a competition with the books. For some reason. Just for fun. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is a very chaotic vlog and I apologize, but like, that's just the way I am right now. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want. And I'll see you next week, I guess. Yeah, take care, stay safe, happy reading, friends. Bye.